why can't the victims hold or get justice within Turkey? Are they unable to make sure the perpetrators are held accountable within Turkey itself?
Owen, that's a fantastic question. The three cases that we've chosen here, they give different examples of why that can't be done, and I think that's quite important. For example, the case of Gökhan Akıkoglu, he says in this case, what happened was he was tortured for 13 days. So he was taken from the police station and tortured, returned to his cell. And the evidence is strong. There were several lawyers and other detainees who tried to give evidence. There was a professor of forensic medicine who did a report in regards to the injuries. These witnesses weren't standing back. They came forward with their evidence about what happened to him and the severe beatings that he was subject to before he died. So it's the perfect case, one would think, for the authorities to stand up and do something and prosecute those who are involved. There's also an autopsy report which showed injuries which aligned with what we're saying about him being tortured to death. To date, in that case, there's been no prosecution by the prosecutors in Turkey. So that shows really the impunity which exists for those in Turkey. The second case, the lawyer Erdem Semih Yıldız's case of torture, you opened on that case talking about the reasons behind it, and it seems that's because some of his clients decided to stay silent, their right to do so. In that case, he reported his torture quite clearly. It's in court records, and he gave strong evidence of that. In one stage, he said, well, I'm going to tell the prosecutors about what's happened to me. And the answer he got was along the lines of, well, you think they don't know what's going on. So that shows the impunity in a different way. In regards to the Sanliurfa Helfeti incident, there is a mass torture of a number of individuals, really terrible stuff. What we're talking about is electrocution, severe beatings, putting people in hoods. This kind of really high-level torture is taking place. As far as we know, no prosecutions have come out of it. So it really does show that impunity exists, and it exists from the point where people are actually being tortured. For example, in the Helfeti Sanliurfa case, there were lawyers who were sitting outside the prosecutor's office, and they were hearing these individuals who were being tortured, being told, if you say that, you're going to be tortured further. We're not going to include that in witness statements. So impunity starts from people trying to report their torture, and then it moves through to there being a lack of any prosecution for that torture. So complete impunity, no real remedy for people within Turkey for this systematic torture which is taking place in these incidences that we've identified.
And Michael, can I ask why should the government, the UK government, consider your submission? What status standing do you have, and why should they respond? Are they obliged to?
Yeah, in regards to the legal framework, the Global Human Rights Sanctions Regulations are a very new piece of law brought forward in 2020, and they are the UK's version of the Magnitsky sanctions. The UK's sanctions used to come through the European Commission when the UK was part of the European Union. So this is the UK government's opportunity to do it ourselves. So the UK government now imposes sanctions which are applied at a United Nations Security Council level. They apply other sanctions which are imposed for corruption and things such as that. And they also impose their own human rights sanctions, Magnitsky style, named after the Russian accountant who was tortured to death there. A case which actually is quite similar to our first one, Akıkoglu's case, a teacher there, but it involves torture to death as well. So it's the UK government's chance to put in place our own sanctions regimes and the Global Human Rights Sanctions Regulations, it sets out three points that the government should be looking for. And it's looking at things carried out by individuals, but if they were carried out by a state, they'd be a breach of an individual's right to life, right not to be subjected to torture or cruel, inhuman or degrading treatment or punishment, and right to be free from slavery. So these are really the baseline for human rights. It's really the minimum that countries should be guaranteeing to their citizens. And I think that the UK government, through these regulations, realizes the damage that can be done internationally by states and governments and regimes not complying with these very basic human rights requirements, and how much instability that can cause between states as well. So it really is an opportunity for the UK government to set out what it believes in. They have added an impressive number of individuals to the list. The list is available online. It's all publicly done. I had a look through the other day, and there are lots of individuals who you'd expect, like the Belarusian leadership, and there's an imposition of sanctions on there in concert with the Canadians, and that's how lots of these sanctions are being done at the moment, where states act together. And there are ones you'd expect in regards to what happened to Mr. Magnitsky in Russia and the top of the Chinese regime in regards to what's happening in Xinjiang. But there are also lots there that you wouldn't necessarily have known about: Pakistani warlords, people from Venezuela. It's a really interesting list to go through and have a look at. So I encourage people to go and have a look at it. And we say the UK government has been adding people to the list, which is impressive. They haven't been standing away saying, well, we want to do business with countries, we're not going to add anyone to the list. So that's comforting. And we say they should consider adding individuals in regards to these cases. Now, you spoke about our 500-page submissions. There's a lot of evidence in there. We didn't pick cases which are light on evidence. There's so many evidence from so many different sources. In Helfeti Sanlufa, there are, in regards to witnesses, hundreds of witnesses to what took place. The local bar associations in the region have done a fantastic job putting that evidence together. So we've got no problems with the evidence. Really, it's time for the UK government to stand up and say, yes, Turkey may be a UK ally at the moment at least, but these individual rights are very important.